Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're calling in from. I feel like that's a normal way for us to open up these days because our community is incredibly global and we're really excited about meeting people where you're at. So thank you for taking the time. I know the time zones can be different, but thank you for being here. My name is Maria Stutzmany-Watkis, and I serve as the Director of Graduate Admissions and Recruitment here at Mendoza College of Business at the University of Notre Dame. And it is it is quite a rare privilege to be in this seat where I get the opportunity to connect with all of you and also develop some really wonderful relationships with students here at Mendoza and really learn about how they're elevating through not only the curriculum but through the community. And I think today will be another great example of that within our program here at Mendoza. So we have about, only the next 25-30 minutes with our current students who are the leaders of the Black Graduates in Management Club here at Mendoza College of Business. And so I'd love to make some quick introductions regarding our admissions team and then quickly move into the Q&A with both Tayo and Debbie. So this is the rough outline for today. We'll definitely take your questions. Please put them in the Q&A portion, or if not, just directly in the chat and we'll get through that. And it's also, we'll be able to, use the Zoom features like raising a hand and being able to call on folks too, so you can ask questions directly as well. So this is our team. We are here to support you through this process. I think what really I think differentiates us is the type of care that we have for our candidates who are incoming and current students. And so I have with me online is Cassie and Phil. They are both the leaders of the admissions process here at the college. Thank you both for setting this up and for really, working with candidates. We have a bunch of interviews happening this week for our round 2, and so we're really looking forward to that. We also have people on the back end of this who may not be here. You may not see them face to face. It's Amy, Annette, and Rebecca, who all serve in support of your candidacy. So thanks again. Please do reach out to us and we'll go forward. So the highlight of today is being able to introduce our leaders here on campus. And the first is Tayo, who is been recently recognized. We're gonna keep congratulating you. I know. So Notre Dame, the student government at the University of Notre Dame, which was led by Eliza Smith and many of her colleagues and peers, featured at a beautiful event for Notre Dame Black Excellence. This happened this last week on Thursday, and in that, nominations across faculty, staff, and students were awarded. I have to say Mendoza had some really wonderful representation there. Of those who were nominated, Tayo was also the recipient of one of the awards for students for his leadership on campus. We couldn't be more proud and excited for him. Also, Dr. Angela Logan, who teaches and leads the Masters of Nonprofit and Administration here at Mendoza College of Business, was one of the faculty winners, and I believe one of our undergraduate students was another awardee. So we're very pleased. There's a lot of momentum here, and I wanted to welcome Tayo and his leadership. So Tayo, if you want to take a moment just to introduce yourself, and I know we have Debbie here on the line, and she has a wonderful introduction as well.
Sure. Thank you for the embarrassment.
Yeah, no problem. Count on me.
So my name is Tayo. I was born in London, but I was raised in Chicago. My family is from Lagos, Nigeria. I am currently a second year in the 2-year MBA and the Master's of Science in Business Analytics dual-degree program that unfortunately got discontinued. However, if you're interested, you can still do both separately. So my internship was with BlackRock this past summer, where I was a data intelligence MBA intern. Amazing experience there. I'm currently studying innovation and entrepreneurship, where I've had the privilege to have my own startup in the financial literacy industry or interest for cryptocurrency. And I'm going to JP Morgan as a senior associate in consumer and community banking for a 2-year rotational program in Ohio. So I chose Notre Dame. I don't know what I wrote. All right. That's what I wrote. Okay. So I chose Notre Dame because of the spiritual foundation, of course. I think that I come from a very spiritual background as a Christian. But I think that this school has a really abundant network of people that actually care about you in a way that you would kind of think that they probably wouldn't, because it is okay, folks who know me know that I speak very bluntly, so I'm going to do the same here. This school is not as diverse as you would hope, right? But it is diverse in the sense that there are people who look like us who are here that are willing to help and have a family. For example, the BGM, or Black Graduates Management Club, which I serve as the president of, and Debbie is our wonderful vice president of finance, who has been killing it and being, honestly, the voice of reason on our board. But that being said, there are people on campus who look like you who can help, and there's an abundance of those who can help you, who can also be a foundation for you. But even in addition to that, coming here, it may seem like there isn't a lot of unity because you don't have your network of people who you would assume who look like you, who will be there for you. But ultimately, there are so many wonderful individuals that you would never think that actually care and that will put forth their voice, their efforts, their responsibilities, everything to help you. Like Maria, like Cassie, like Phil, we have grown to love them. I mean, Maria called me to tell me how excited she was about me being at the school, and I was like, who is this lady? But it was great. So it was fantastic to get to know her and amongst all the other folks in the admissions team. So I chose the school mainly because of the loving atmosphere that I received, even in the interview process, which many of you may have gone through or will be going through in the future. And I think I'll say the opportunities that the school offers, from different degrees that you can combine at your MBA if you're going to do something after or before, or even just the opportunities like business on the front lines, or model ed program, or even the clubs such as the PGM or other clubs that you can join that have leadership roles in, or even simply just the people that you will meet is the network here. I'm telling you, it's crazily, ridiculously, amazingly such a great network. I think I'm going to stop there, but I can go all day.
Thank you. Well, we feel the love as well, Tayo. So thank you so much. And I know, Debbie, you came in the same class as well. And Debbie comes from an outstanding accounting background, and really coming from a university prior, right, that really had like very similar missions aligned. And since then has been the voice to bring in other folks from home. So I think it's been really nice to see friends and other cohorts building through you, Debbie. So thank you so much for your leadership.
Yes, thank you, Maria. So hi, my name is Debbie Olagunju, and I am from Lagos in Nigeria. So as Maria said, prior to now, I have an accounting background and slightly finance. So for me, it made sense to major in corporate finance and investments. Last year, I did my internship in Microsoft as a finance manager intern, but post MBA, I'm going to Google as a strategic finance analyst. I think Tayo has said everything really I think Tayo has said everything about community, because coming here, I don't know if I had expectations as much, like huge expectations. I knew that I wanted to come to a place where I felt that my dreams could come through. And like, that's what I saw here throughout the process. Like, I spoke to Cassie, I emailed her like every day. I was so shocked that she wasn't tired of me. And even the admission teams as a whole, like, it just feels like everybody wanted me to succeed. Everybody wanted Debbie here, not trying to meet a number, or not trying to get somebody from Nigeria. I felt like Debbie was supposed to be here. And I would say that after coming here, my academic, professional, extracurricular leadership achievements or like goals have been accomplished. So Tayo has said I'm the VP of Finance in BGM, and I would say that we have done an incredible job to making sure that people like you that came this past year have had a smooth experience. And we hope that we can leave something great for, like, if you choose to come here, we hope we can leave something great for you to work on or even improve for people like you that are to come in the future. So yes, thank you, and nice meeting you today.
Thank you both for your introductions and just your warm welcome to everybody who's here. And so I to kick off the questions, if anybody out there has questions specifically for Debbie and Tayo about Black Graduates and Management Club, please add those. The first question that I have is, really more about like what inspired you to really kind of rejuvenate the club. And to Tayo's point, like we're an evolving community here. So I think in the year prior, there was one person who identified as African and Black, right? They're one person. And so we see the global nature of our community really coming together with lots of representation. So part of that is you being here and having kind of the spirit, the generosity of spirit to engage, but like how did it revive? How did you get it going? Like what were some of the things that you did to really infuse that energy back into the club?
I think I'll say, well, first of all, I have to give kudos to the person that came before us, and that is Faith.
Absolutely.
Faith is actually responsible for the rejuvenation of BGM. If you ever have the chance to talk to Faith, you will probably leave that conversation feeling like you just talked to an angel. She is the most incredible human we probably all know. She's great. She's currently in Seattle at Microsoft. At Amazon currently. So reach out to her on LinkedIn. I can't. Faith Achangwa is her full name. Someone type it in the chat. That'd be great. But regardless, I think to do that, we made it a mission to be able to make this a family. I think that was the first thing that Faith had put in place for us during our first year, and it was very successful. We came here and we had the family aspect. This year, we wanted to be a resource, not only for jobs or for education, but also for people to feel like they have a place to come and talk about things that otherwise you would not have a place to do so. But also we wanted to give the community a way to be unified. And we have a lot of events that are upcoming this year or in the next month before Black History Month that cater to all forms of Africans, African Americans, Caribbeans across the African diaspora across the world, to shed light on how we can be unified and also give people opportunities for job opportunities, but also to network with others to grow that family aspect as well. And so I think through all of those endeavors, we have been able to achieve something that we haven't seen before, which is unity across the campus, across all the Black orgs, which is something that we put out to do in the summer when we were talking about this last year. So it goes to show that drop seeds that people can put into place from Faith from 2 years ago are still being grown right now, and they'll continue to be grown in the next year's class.
Wow, that's remarkable. So it really started with Faith and her feeling of building the community as a family, and then from there really thinking about what resources and how to tether all of the different groups and organizations together. And so as a part of that, one of the outcomes for this group, and Debbie, I'll ask you this question since it's also been posed in the chat, how does this group help to support, students who are job seeking, right? And making pivots? Like, can you tell us a little bit more about the functions of the group itself?
Okay, great. I think that's an interesting question, and I have to answer it carefully because I'm not a career coach or in career development. But I'll say that one thing we do, or one thing we are lucky to have, is we have Tara, who is a career development coach and also serves as a BGM. So when students have like very important questions about career, we're able to direct them to Tara, who is on the career development team. But apart from that, we're lucky because in the BGM, we have diverse experiences. So for example, Righteous is going to investment banking. I'm going to corporate finance. Tayo is going into banking, like as he said in his introduction. Fumi is going to consulting. Verlinda is going to consulting. And when you look at people coming into MBA, we see that those are the major brackets. People either want to go to consulting or investment banking or like corporate finance. And so I think we're just lucky to have people that have done it and done it well, because 4 of us or 5 of us are going to amazing companies. And so we're like mentors to people that came in the first year. So if you want to go to consulting, talk to Fumi and Berlinda. How do they do it? Do you need mock interviews? And I would say that one thing we do very well is mock interviews. We do a lot of mock interviews for our 1 years. Like I know that in our last BGM meeting, one thing they said is, right now, when they go into interviews, they're so confident because they've had so many interviews with us where we tell them that, no, this doesn't sound right, or like do this thing differently. I would say that we really can't predict how the job market is going. Of course, like as you said, people mention layoffs or how things are going, but there would always be layoffs, one, and that doesn't mean it directly affects you as an MBA student. So we advise people or our members to keep having a positive mindset, still going to the job market, look for the job you want, and leverage us for your mock interviews, or even to talk to us if you feel down or if you feel this thing is harder than expected. I think we're here to serve them. So if you ask me, I'll just say that we have like all the resources, like people, and Mendoza definitely has career searching tools, like websites to use to get jobs and things like that. So BGM is more complimentary, and it's like specialized, like it's to you, it's tailored to you, to your needs, if you need mock or resume viewing. So I'll say that yes, we're here to help you individually if you need further needs outside what is provided by the career team.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think this is really prompting more discussion around like how do we continue to grow this so that we're really supporting more access and more opportunity. I was having a conversation with Cassie earlier today about, we have all these partners that provide this, but we have such a wonderful trusted network, even internally, that this is something that we can look to in the future. So if there's any one thing that you would like to highlight about the club or about the things that you have, planned in the future. I know that there's, this is Black History Month, and it's also Walk the Walk week here. And so there's a ton of things going on. What would you like to highlight or share about plans that BGM has for the future?
So I think Tayo may have something different. I'm sure he would, but I would say for me is something BGM has wanted to do in the past is to make sure that we're tight-knit. And in our past meeting, that's something we saw, like everybody was able to come together to share their experiences. And if we look at the activities we have in the coming weeks or in the coming month for the rest of the semester, the activities where every member can come and talk about how they feel or talk about their goals in terms of leadership goals, or where, like, we don't see it as just academic and career goals. We see it as what else do you want to do in the university? How do you want to get involved? How do you want to add to the community? And so one big goal for us is seeing how we can come together and make sure that we are free enough to share those concerns or those feelings or those goals and see how we can help them achieve it. I don't know what else Taya has about.
I think that's spot on. I think Debbie, that was perfect to say. I think we have established a culture in BGM where we have been able to give people that environment that they can feel like they're at home and really come together. I mean, there was even people who were saying, I don't know how many of you all believe in God, but at least in our club, it's definitely talked about quite often. And people were really saying how they have been experiencing, how they've been praying, how they've been worshiping to actually get to the point of strength to be able to keep in the job search. But I think that some things that we want to highlight, that we've been trying to highlight, is we set off this year to be a resource, whether it is from that family aspect, but also to be a resource to educate and to help folks with actually what they are looking for practically. And one of those things is that we come all here to get as a job. And I think that we've been trying our best to connect the alumni with the students in a way that makes sense for them to get those jobs. So at least get the resources and get that conversation started. So one big event that's coming up and soon is the networking banquet for Black History Week, which is happening on the 23rd of February. And that event is going to be the culminating event of the week, where we're going to have all the alumni, faculty, staff, and students from across the entire university under one roof in a very elegant atmosphere to be able to exchange ideas, exchange resources, to say that I'm open to recruiting or networking, so that students can have the opportunity to actually move forward in that process of networking and recruiting. To add to the previous question, you can apply to all the jobs you want from all these layoffs and things that are happening across all industries, but it comes down to who you know, and it comes down to what type of resources that you have to get to who you know. I think that we are trying to be an organization between now and in the near future that consistently aligns our students with people that they either do know, or who they can know, to enable them to have the opportunities necessary for them to gain the resources and jobs necessary to fulfill their career aspirations. So that's kind of where we're looking to go, and that's kind of where we have been as well.
Mm-hmm. That's inspiring, both of you, just being able to, and I think from our perspective in administration, seeing the growth in the engagement and the inclusion, right? So the bringing up together, the coming together has been really beautiful. So we only have another 5 minutes for this portion. So I'm welcoming other questions that are coming in. And I love that Joel, who is close to ND, wants to connect. So Please. Yeah, definitely find some time. We'll make sure to drop our emails in the chat so that we can connect further. And we have Prince asked a question here. So for the panelists, what has been most surprising thing that you found about Mendoza, your Mendoza experience in a positive sense, especially for Debbie, since you joined directly from Africa?
Interesting. I would say I'll start with academic, and I start there because it's totally different from what I experienced in Nigeria. So like in Nigeria, for example, if I have classes and you don't talk in class, that's fine. Like nobody cares, just make your grade. But here, from class to career service to everything, you see that people make sure that you're included. People want to hear you talk or hear what you have to say. So I think that was something that was surprising. Like, why must I say something in class, professor? Like, just look at the other side, don't look at me. But I think that has made me more outspoken. That has made me do things I would not ordinarily do. Like, I would not ordinarily say I want to be in a club and say, okay, I want to do finance for the club. But because of those small experiences, being able to have conversations in class or being able to have conversations with my career coach, then it felt like I was a little more empowered. And then I'm like, okay, yes, I can do this finance thing for BGM, or I can do these volunteer activities for like graduation planning week or planning a gala or anything they have here. So I would say that another side is I had to come with an open mindset. So it wasn't just about coming here to see what was here, but I had to be open to what people do here. So people talk here, people are free here. And I'm like, okay, I need to talk. I need to be free. I need to learn from people. I need to be a better version. I can't live here the same way I came. So I don't know if that answered your question, but yeah, that's my experience.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You're really speaking to kind of the how you have adapted and the ways in which you have expanded through your time here. And I really, it's so complimentary, Debbie, when you talk about not wanting to leave here the same way that you came in, right? And so that's kind of who we are, is becoming a better version. Well, I don't know about better version of ourselves, but just becoming another version of ourselves, right? Yeah. Yeah. Tayo, what would you want to leave our audience with today?
Leave the hard ones for the end, eh?
Yeah.
So just for clarification, are you all have you already gone through the application and you have already done interviews, or are they going to be interviewing soon?
I think it's mixed. I think some people are kind of in the process of figuring out whether they're going to apply. They might be looking to not this year, but next year. They might be looking to these final rounds. They may be in the application phase or in the evaluation phase. So it's really a broad group.
Okay. I would say, no matter where you are in the process, come with your complete self. This is probably one of the only schools in the country where they actually really care about your complete story, not just the shiny parts. If I told you my full story about if I told you like all the bad and the good of my story, you'd be like, how did you get in? Trust me, I have no idea. But like, I think that they really care about your holistic story, who you are for real, not just your GMAT score, your GPA, your job roles, your accomplishments, your award. If they want to know about the times where you didn't have a job, how you struggled, how you cried, how you sought God for help, how you had to go through odd jobs to get back into a good job. They care about all those small things, because those small things are what allow you to actually connect with people in a way that those who may not have gone through that can't. So we can imagine struggle breeds grit, and grit breeds leadership, and for most leaders' opinions. So I think if you're trying to do something and you're trying to get into the school and move forward in your career, come as your complete authentic self, because at least at this institution, they strongly desire and care about your particular story and want to help you to get past whatever may be prohibiting you from, one, expressing that, but from using that story as part of your brand to propel you to higher heights that you may not have thought that you can get to. And the second thing I'll say is, this network is really broad, and you will be very surprised who would be responsive. You see like a CEO of some high net worth company in banking or in tech, and they're an alum. You shoot them a LinkedIn message, they probably might respond in the next 10 to 15 minutes just because of the school that you go to. So I want you to realize that when you come here, you are coming into a family and a network of people that are highly that are performing at a really high level, but also nurture at a very high level as well. So just remember that. Come with your complete self and be expectant of a family and a network of people who are willing to engage with you no matter what your background is or what you look like.
Oh my goodness, that is like, that is quite an honor, but it's also a great responsibility, is it not? And I think that that's a part of it, is that I think people self-select to be here when they are ready to take on that responsibility. And I know Phil is a Notre Dame grad. I'm seeing him kind of smile and shake his head there too. Tayo, I want to thank you. Debbie, thank you for your time here today with all of us. In the next 5 minutes, I think we have Cassie and Phil are going to lead us through some next steps, but your leadership is so valuable and important. It has really changed the shape of who we are here on this campus and across the University of Notre Dame. Thank you for making this a better place because of your presence in it. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'll echo that, Tayo and Debbie. Thank you. It's an honor to know you. It's an honor to have you here. And I think I said this a few weeks ago when we were on a call together. I just can't believe you guys are both about to graduate and I don't want you to leave. So but a couple, I guess, tactical next steps as you think about where you are in the process. Here is the list of our application deadlines for this cycle. Obviously, we've passed our round 2 deadline. So if you have yet to apply, but are still interested in considering Notre Dame for this cycle to start this summer or fall, our round 3 deadline is on March 14th. So not too far away. If you apply by that deadline, you then will receive a decision in late April. We are happy to counsel you as far as what is the best time for you, what is the best program fit for you. I know Tayo and Debbie are both a part of our 2-year program. However, we also have a 1-year accelerated MBA as well. So happy to answer any questions there. Phil, I will pass to you to close things out, and looking forward to meeting all of you if we haven't met already.
Perfect. Thank you, Cassie, and thank you, Debbie and Tayo. For those of you that want to get in touch with them, they graciously put their email addresses in the chat for you to reach out. If you have questions for us, our email address is right here, mba.business@nd.edu. We host a number of other virtual events similar to this, whether it's student spotlights, program overview webinars, application Q&A workshops. So go to the website here and sign up for an event. As Cassie said, our next application deadline is coming up March 14th, so you got a little bit of time for that. And once you are ready to start your application, it's just on our website or at this site here, mendoza.nd.edu/apply. And as a thank you for joining us today, we wanted to give you an application fee waiver code. So here in the gold box, Irish Web, make sure it's all capital letters and all one word. So no spaces, no lowercase. This will make it free for you to apply. And this code does work next year, the year after. So if you're not quite ready to submit this year, absolutely fine. This code will work next year and make it free and easy for you to apply. But thank you all again for joining us. I know we're just hitting 12:30 Eastern time right now. I hope that wherever you're calling in from, you are safe, healthy, happy, and having a great start to your new year. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care and go Irish.